This is Steve Nelson at the National Weather Service with your weekly weather briefing made on Thursday, April 21st, 2022. Here are the main points we're going to cover today. Warm and dry conditions are expected through the weekend. Great news there. We could see showers and a few thunderstorms on Monday and Tuesday as a weak cold front moves in from the northwest, but we're expecting another warm, dry day on Wednesday after that moves quickly through. Those storms I talked about early next week are really not expected to be severe, but it's that time of year, so we'll talk about that more later. And the vegetation continues to green up, which could be good news if there's a fire risk, but we still have to watch out for those warm, dry conditions leading to fire danger conditions. So this slide right here is about 2/3 of the weather briefing just in one slide, warm and dry. I've just got a few images on there just to show you an example of what temperatures are expected to be like on Saturday and Sunday morning. Pretty much similar conditions. You'll see more on that later for your area. Mostly sunny skies, no rain, warm and dry, highs in the 80s, lows in the 50s. Here's that front we were talking about, moving in from northwest. You can see that area of light green and moderate green, just some light to moderate rain, maybe some isolated thunderstorms there. Monday afternoon, way up in northwest Georgia, that is. Continuing a little further south Wednesday, but the coverage is not expected to be great. You can kind of tell just from this one computer animation that we're looking at that it's not expected to be too heavy, and the ingredients that we look for severe storms in particular, that is instability, vertical wind shear, how strong winds are coming together near the ground, those appear limited. So if this forecast holds together, we could get lucky and not really see any strong storms. So that's what we're expecting now. Just want to let people know that it is that time of year. It's late April that we typically do see our strongest storms in the March, April timeframe. So we'll keep watch on that. Here's the total rainfall for that event. We're looking at Monday and Tuesday with a little more detail on the map, maybe a half inch at best, really not much rainfall. So we've been fortunate earlier this spring. The rain we did get was helpful because overall I think we're in a slightly drier than normal pattern here in the last several months. So we're fortunate to get the rain because in the next 7 days we're really not expecting much at all. Maybe a half inch at best if you're lucky there in northwest Georgia. So again, I kind of want to mention that high fire dangers. Conditions green up, like as in the trees, the grass, the vegetation in general becomes more green. That makes it a little easier for wildfires to not get out of control. So we're optimistic about that. But there's always that chance, some areas are drier than normal, and you can still get wildfires even with the green up conditions. So we'll be monitoring that this weekend. It doesn't look too bad, but we'll keep an eye on it. Okay, here's our 7-day outlook for specific points. We can't put everyone on the screen there. You can always get your local forecast by going to weather.gov/Atlanta. Then navigating up to the upper left side of the screen, there's a box. You can enter your zip code or a city and state or whatever, and always get the latest information for your specific point. Anyway, looks like very warm temperatures, like we were talking about, temperatures approaching 90 there in southeast and parts of middle Georgia and Columbus and Dublin. All right, since there's relatively little to talk about in the weather department for the next 7 days, I thought I'd show you some new information relatively hot off the press for the outlook. This is the 8 to 14 day outlook indicating slightly below normal temperatures. In my opinion and experience, this is usually indicating this pattern with dry conditions, probably the morning temperatures being more below normal, say, than the daytime temperatures. And here is the most recent 1-month outlook showing those monthly temperatures starting to creep above normal, especially across the southern latitudes and including central and south Georgia. Precipitation may be above normal, so we'll take any precipitation we can get at this point. That's good news. And in the 3-month outlook, you can really see the temperatures going above normal over quite a bit of the western U.S. This was a little bit larger than the last forecast that came out, the last seasonal outlook, and below normal precipitation over the middle part of the country and the west. Those above normal precipitation areas we are looking at in Georgia, pretty much equal chances at this point based on the latest information. So what's really driving these below normal precipitation and above normal temperatures, especially in the western and central U.S.? That would be La Niña, and we'll talk about that where you can get more information here in a bit. Basically, the latest information from the Climate Prediction Center shows that a La Niña advisory continues. They continued that in effect. And an advisory is more than a watch. It means that conditions are actually happening and are expected to continue. So I've got a link there on the screen. You can type that in or click that if you have access to the PowerPoint. for more information on that. The warmest and driest conditions, as we showed on those maps earlier, are expected to stay west of Georgia. However, the fire season, if you have, people you are related to, you have family and friends out that way, you might want to, keep an eye on them. Just let them know it's probably, unfortunately, going to be a very active fire season in the western U.S. We've seen a lot of that actually in the last few years, and unfortunately, this is a somewhat rare event to have La Niña conditions continue 3 years in a row. So if that were to continue, which it is the near-term forecast for this to continue into the summer, possibly into the fall, it would be only the third time since 1950 that a 3-year La Niña event has occurred. So what is this El Nino, La Niña, ENSO stuff, this ENSO-guy? No, it's not Chris Farley. It's a cycle, and I'm not going to talk about it here, but you can definitely click this link, theclimate.gov/ENSO. They really have some relatively easy to understand and follow. What ENSO is, the El Nino Southern Oscillation, is ENSO. You can read more about it, and if you want to go into more detail, though these are the experts here. They're the source of the information. They're the ones you want to read up more if your business or your livelihood depends on that, such as farming, agriculture. All sorts of industries are affected by this, not just fire weather and agriculture. So to re-summarize everything, warm and dry conditions are expected through the weekend. We may have some scattered showers and possibly a few thunderstorms Monday and Tuesday, but those won't last long. The cold front that's triggering that is relatively weak. It should move through pretty quickly with another warm and dry day expected on Wednesday. Those storms are not expected to be severe at this time, but it is that time of year, so we'll keep watch on it. And the vegetation continues to green up, which can limit the fire danger compared to earlier this spring. But we're definitely going to keep an eye on that, as we're not expecting much precipitation or clouds or cooler temperatures this 7 days. So that wraps it up. As always, you can contact us and seek more information with these resources here on the screen. It's been my pleasure to speak with you, and I hope you have a great weekend.